Hi folks, this is Motorhead Steve. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to prime the pump at the beginning of the season. To make things easier, I'm going to uncover the pump so we have full visibility. Just straight removing the top and the box. Now this fire pump is comprised of a Honda engine that spins a rotor inside of this water pump. Now at the beginning of the season, the bottom drain plug will have been taken out to get the water to drain out of here so it doesn't, when it freezes in the winter, there won't be any water in there. So the first thing we have to do is plug that up. We're going to leave this open for the moment because we're going to have to prime this pump again only at the beginning of the season. So we will take our hose. This is the intake hose where the water is going to be coming from the lake water into the pump. You can see this end has a filter, this end has a connection point. We're just going to go ahead and get this hose into the water. And of course it is going to sink when it fills up with water. So just get it to fill up with water, which it will gradually do. Let me know.
You're live.
Okay. So to attach this end, make sure that these are forward like this. Slip this on all the way and then pull and lock each of these down into position. It could be a little hard, so you could certainly give them a tap to get them to fully close. Now, what we have to do is fill this up with water so that it is primed. So, you will get yourself a bucket, fill it with water, and then pour it in here, and you will hear it filling up. And you can tell it's full now, and what I will do is now put the top cap on. This pump is now primed and ready to be started for the season. And don't forget, boys and girls, too many people go through life with dull edges. Hi, don't be one of them. Steve. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to start this motor. I think it's a good idea that when you first come up that you start this motor once a week just to make sure that it runs. Now, we do not have the outlet hose connected, and that is something we'll be showing in a subsequent video. But as you go to start this motor, make sure none of your friends are standing in front of it because water will be blowing out of it. Couple of things. Here is your on-off switch. To start it, make sure it's on. You will be hitting it in the off position to turn it off. If you swing around over here, you'll see there are 3 controls. The first one on the bottom with the black lever is your fuel. We never turn this off, just leave that open. The second one up is choke. It's all the way there to start the engine. As soon as it starts, it's all the way there. Here is your throttle. Once it starts up, let it warm up for a minute, and then you could go ahead and increase the RPMs of the engine. I like to start it about there. So I've got the fuel on, I've got this on, I've got the choke. We have not pre-started this, so let's see how many strokes to get it going. It's running now. Amount of water coming out of this pump. Again, a good idea to put it when you go to turn it off. Pull the throttle back a little bit and And then simply turn that to the off position. And that's it for this edition. I'm Motorhead Steve. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to connect the hose to the pump and the proper way to use it. You'll see in the hose there's two ends. Obviously this is the nozzle end, and you can open and close it. We advise having this in the open position at all times so that when you start pumping water, water comes out and I'm not building up excessive pressure in the hose. What you're going to want to do in the case of an emergency is get one or two people, grab this and start heading where you need to go. And you want this hose all the way out with no kinks before that engine is started and pumping water through it. In the year 2023, we connected everything. We tested the hose to check for its viability, and it was in great condition. To connect this, it's actually just a simple twist connection. Simply goes like that and then rotates on and locks in. I would suggest that you guys practice this just so you can get a feel for how to get this connected, because you don't want to be learning how to do this in the heat of the moment. Once the hose is connected, you can go ahead and start the engine, which will run the pump. Do not do that before connecting the hose, because you won't be able to do it. You'll just have to shut down the engine and restart. So again, this is an extremely long length of hose. We're not exactly sure because we didn't measure, but certainly 200 to 300 feet of hose. That's Motorhead Steve signing off with this edition of how to use the fire pump.
Wow. You're on call.
He needs fire. He needs a fire.
Hi, this is Motorhead Steve. In this video, we'll be talking about the simple maintenance you can do to keep this engine running in top condition. The first thing, of course, has to do with fuel. This is a 4-cycle engine, which simply means it takes gas. There is no oil gas mixture, simply gas. Because this typically and hopefully does not run very often, the gas sits in there. Therefore, when you add gas, please make sure at the same time that you put in some type of fuel stabilizer. This is a great brand. We've been using it for years, but I'm sure other fuel stabilizers work just as well. Beyond the fuel, the two things you need to do are occasionally change the spark plug and change the oil. There's nothing that will kill an engine faster than having dirty oil in it. The spark plug is located right here. You simply pull it off, unscrew it, and there are spark plug wrenches here to take that spark plug off and replace it with its equivalent. Now, in the link to this video, it links to the manual for this engine. It will call out the type of spark plug and the spark plug gap. When you put that spark plug in, be sure not to cross thread it, just gently screw it in, and do not over tighten it. When you seat that spark plug, it literally is maybe an eighth of a turn or so. Do not over tighten it. It has to be snug, don't muscle it. Make sure you reconnect your connection to it. Finally, the oil change. Here is your oil filler cap that you can unscrew to check the level of oil. Again, you want to keep the oil fresh. This engine is not run often, so it doesn't really get black and dirty frequently. But there's your drain plug. Yes, it is a bit messy, but you take that plug out, warm up the engine a bit. Don't get it unbelievably hot, just warm, turn it off, take that out, let the oil completely drain out, catch it in a proper container and dispose of it properly. And then you'll need a funnel to fill this up with 18 ounces of 10W30 oil. Again, all of that is detailed in the manual of this motor. If you keep the fuel clean and stabilized, if you keep the spark plug changed every 3, 4, 5 years, and if you change the oil when it needs to be changed, this pump will last forever. Thank you very much. This is the Motorhead Steve signing off.